Hello there, Jagnodar here. The release of Honkai Star Rail is right around the corner, so I wanted to share who am I pulling on release. So a few things that I need to preface before I dive right in. First, I did not play any of the betas, so this means that when it comes to my impressions of the characters, I am relying purely on notes and resources from people who played the betas, and information on websites such as pridwin.gg, along with their promo trailers and my impressions of them from Honkai Impact 3rd. So thanks to all the creators who have been updating the community so often leading up to the release date. Secondly, I am not planning to reroll. Based on the information out on the web, it takes maybe 30 minutes to do one reroll, and I don't count myself lucky in any way. I expect that I would be probably sick of the game by the time I finish rerolling for the characters I want, which is probably maybe the entire day or more. So that's why I'm not gonna do it. And thirdly, I'm going to try and limit my spending, which means that my account will be okay with some gradual spending, but I will not have fully geared or decked out characters with their light cones. I'm going to use whatever light cones I can get, and this also means that my team is not likely going to be fully meta. So I am going to lay out the criteria of the characters that I'll be pulling for, whether they are based on good synergy, good teams, but mostly they're based on their top waifu energy for me. So, if you are a free to play player and you're watching this, you'll need to be much more targeted than I am, especially with your polls, your limited banner polls, or your standard banner polls, because I am going to be spending. Alright, now we got all of that out of the way. Now we come to the crux of the video. How many polls do we have, and who are we gonna poll for? So before we dive into the characters, let's cover how many polls we have to work with guaranteed. So here comes my little spreadsheet here. So let's see what we have to work with here. We are told we are guaranteed 80 free polls, but they are not all just given to us. 20 standard polls are given out as pre-registration rewards, that's going to be in our mail, based on most websites. By Trailblazer rank 35, we will be getting the next 40 standard polls, and 10 polls worth of Stellar Jade. That's about 1,600 Stellar Jade. Finally, our last 10 polls is from the login rewards. This is the one that's for the limited banner. So here is my plan on how to use these rewards. We are going to pull on the beginner banner first with our standard tickets. Never use any of the Stellar Jade. This banner has a discount for their polls and will be gone once we finish all 50 polls. We'll only need to use 40 standard poll tickets to complete this banner. So that's great. But the banner only guarantees one 5-star. This means that we need a strategy, and that is, if we get one 5-star earlier than the 50 polls, we are not going to continue pulling on the banner. Because why? Because it doesn't guarantee another 5-star, and it does not accumulate pity. So it would be much more worth it to start pulling on the standard banner now, where you can build towards the 90 pity. Now that we've gotten the standard polls out of the way, I'll be pushing all my Stellar Jade into the limited banner. And if you're wondering why we don't just push for more pity on the standard banner, it's because of the 50-50 system on the limited banner. From my experience with Genshin banner pity, and what I've heard prior to the launch of Honkai Star Rail, you will get a standard banner character if you lose your 50-50. So I wouldn't invest so much on the standard banner. Alright, so I actually assumed that we are dreadfully unlucky. So we're looking at the worst case scenario. So we're taking, say, 180 polls to get the 5-star character on the limited banner. while it takes us 90 pulls on the standard and 40 tickets on the beginner banner. So assuming we don't make any mess ups, we will make the total progress of 20 out of 180 pulls in the limited banner, and we would spend 40 tickets on the beginner banner and 30 out of 90 progress for the standard banner for a 5-star. Now, it is time to go over who I am going to pull from the characters we know or expect of so far. I'll be using this tier list to show you guys who I'm going to pull for. The categories here will be 1. Dream Team. So I'm going to be pulling with my wallet. 2. I want them, but they're not top priority. 3. They're guaranteed. 4th, they're okay, but I'm not so psyched about getting them. 5th, I need to know more, or meh to me. So to start, my top 4 are based on my favorite pairs shown in the game so far. Zele and Bronya, you've seen from the trailers and Honkai Impact 3rd as well if you've been following my streams. I also love Silver Wolf and Kafka from all that I've seen so far of the gameplay and just trailers. They all have their own charm points, and I'm definitely gonna pull for them. Now we come to the technical part of it, starting with Zele. So Zele is a really strong DPS with a mechanic that allows her to take another turn after killing an enemy. And I believe she received a DPS buff with the launch patch too. So I plan to take her. So I plan to have her as the main DPS for one of my teams, with Bronya playing as the major DPS support. Bronya's role is going to be increasing her damage and trying to capitalize on her turn-giving kills to let Zele dominate the stage. The rest of the team will probably be Natasha as the healer and maybe Asta as additional support. For Silver Wolf and Kafka, this is where I plan on leveraging their damage over time and use March 7th and maybe Trailblazer for lots of turtling, and if it's physical Trailblazer, some healing, just to keep the team alive while the damage over time takes its toll on the enemies. So my idea of crafting 2 teams is based on my assumption that I brought over from Genshin, that I'm going to need 2 teams just in case for any tough content. Similar to the Genshin Abyss, where you actually need to run 2 separate teams for their own stages. Alright, now we move down the list. The wants, but not a priority. This category is for characters I really want to get, but I'm okay if I miss their first run. Which means I don't expect to get them immediately, but expect to get them eventually, because they are huge boosts to any account. One character that I had to put in here was Jingyuan. He is super strong, pretty much the team carry, and his voice lines are just so good and such a mood. Free to plays who are looking for a meta build, go get him. For me, I like the ladies in my top first category. That's not a reference to anything, thank you very much. Now, the other characters here like Bailu and Welt, they are both also great, but Bailu has a 4-star counterpart in Natasha as a healer, and Welt, he is a character I really like. He was there in Honkai Impact 3rd, and I thought it was really cool, but pulling for too many support characters could really jeopardize my limited spending, and this is in spite of the fact that he's really good for a Zele team. Now, I'll move on and also skip the entire guaranteed section, since they are, well, guaranteed, so I don't really see the need for pulling for them. The OK Squad is a tier that I created just because I suspect I'm going to have to play differently from my usual style. My usual style is to hit the enemies hard and fast and never let them even have a turn. But for one characters like Clara, who is godly level cute, and the Jet VA for her Robo Daddy is scary good, It gives me feels. But her mechanics are really about revenge strikes and shield buffing and taunts. That's not really my playstyle. I might try them in the future, but that's pretty low priority. And now moving to our last tier. These characters, I need more information. Because just like one of them, which is Ting Xue, who I was really looking forward to trying with the whole mahjong player concept and vibe. No matter how many videos or description I've seen of her so far, I don't really understand how she works or how she's meant to be played. For me, that's a bit of a blow because she's one of the few quantum characters, and I was looking to build potentially a quantum team. So I really want to try her out, have more info before I can really decide whether I want to put her as a priority to strengthen. Yeah, so this is my poll priority for the release of Honkai Star Rail. And this tier list here is right here, available for you guys to roast or question me about it. So let me know what you guys think and who you're gonna poll in Honkai Star Rail. Are you gonna go for more meta or waifu oriented polls? Do let me know in the comments below. Remember, this is a game, so poll what you like. And just remember, this is meant for your enjoyment, so let's keep the comment section civil. If you guys like my content, do subscribe and follow me on Twitter and on Twitch. I stream on Tuesdays and on the weekends SG time. So I hope you guys have a great time in Honkai Star Rail, and may the gacha gods always be on your side. And I'll see you in the next one.